Why? How do you translate why to English? So, good evening, everybody. To be honest, I have a bit of a stage fright. So, I mean it. So, in order to calm myself down, I'm going to force you into intimacy and introduce you to my family. This is my grandmother. She turned 96 last April. Yes, she deserves it. She looks a bit like Queen Elizabeth, if you ask me. And she's also royal, at least for me. And she knows a thing or two about longevity. According to her theory, we were born with a ticking clock above our heads, an unchargeable battery, and everything we do that exceeds the average of minimum effort we need to invest to live fairly well is consuming our given energy and shortens our lives. This is my husband. His theory is a whole different ballgame. He says that the more you do, the more time you have. Being in two places at the same time is practically his life goal. His friends say that sometimes he falls asleep in social gathering, so even his unconscious time will be while doing something else. And in this discrepancy, I live. I think, in fact, we all live in this controversy. And as time passes, I've realized this issue. Fine-tuning work-life balance is a major challenge for this generation and, of course, for the next ones. When I was 26, I was hosting a successful morning show on television. I was a newlywed, and I was just about to finish my master's degree in diplomacy when I've decided I wanted to try to get into med school. Now, ever since that decision was made, I found myself endlessly explaining to people how am I going to juggle that combination of medicine, media, family, assuming I wasn't giving up on any of them. I wasn't asked if I enjoyed my jobs or why do I feel the need to expertise in different fields. I was mostly inquired about solving my day-to-day puzzle schedule. And I think that people around me were excited to see someone who is actually making time to pursue all of her passions. We live in the multidisciplinary age. My dad is an engineer. He started to work at the company he worked for when he was about 22 or so, and he retired from the same working place when he was 67. He enjoyed every day. Did you? Most of the days, I guess. He still elaborated his knowledge in the academy and independently, but he never felt the urge to search for his next career. Today, if you stay more than 5 years at the same position, you have a problem. Aren't you good enough? Aren't you bored? Don't you feel stuck? We are indoctrinated as individuals to strive to be better, faster, higher, stronger, to be more efficient, to get out of our comfort zone so we could live a full and meaningful life, to do more and to be the best. Just look around you. When was the last time you saw a cover of a magazine with a guy who stopped to smell the roses? Or a cover about the 35-year-old woman who took a gap year to focus on learning art? How does she do it? And for years, I've been talking to people about seizing every opportunity, about just saying yes. Live like today is your last day on earth. Leave a mark, mean something to someone. Isn't that our purpose in life? Isn't that our role in society? To be productive, to change? Can we do it by living what is considered a normal, average life? For the people of my generation, the answer to this question is no, and it's only partially our fault. The logic leading to this conclusion comes from the plain fact that the future job market is fast-changing, unknown, and uncertain. People who want to be successful have to be dynamic, make sacrifices. We have to know something about everything to stay relevant. This blunt, absolute conclusion results in a very strong force that motivates a lot of people. This force is the idealization of multitasking and multidisciplinary-ism. I added the ism because it sort of became a religion, a movement, and this is a very complicated way to say that in our generation, we always aspire, we even feel the need to do many different things and to do them at the same time. Now, the idealization of multitasking, I can say that a lot, so I'm gonna shorten it. Let's call it IMPI. Not because it's the initials or something, just because it's catchy and I like it. What can I do? So, IMPI revolves around two emotions, thrill and fear. It is very much like money and the psychology of wealth. A few years ago, there was a study that claimed that an income of $75,000 a year is the threshold for maximum happiness. In other words, it means that it wouldn't make a difference to our sense of happiness if we made more money a year, but it would if we made less. A relatively new research has shown that there isn't such number. We'll always want more or feel we need more to be happier, at least most of us. So I feel the same thing about being multidisciplinary. I look around me and people keep searching for the next thing. It's like a chase to be happier, a new thrill that will reach our world, and it's addictive. That's the thrill part. On the fear side, IMPI helps us face the fear of failing in a way. The thought of dropping 1 out of 1 ball is too paralyzing, at least for me, than dropping 1 out of 10, isn't it? But let's go back to Queen Tzipora. A simple housewife that maybe didn't gain a lot of job titles or magazine covers, but lives good and not less importantly, long life. If we see our lives as meaningful just by productiveness, as society defines it, the more things we do, the more meaning we give our lives, how does it coexist with my grandmother's theory? Are we supposed to work hard, play hard, or is less more? Is my grandmother right when she says my lifestyle will shorten my life? How can I even know what makes me live longer if even in our own body, different organs age at different rate, influenced by multiple factors as genetics makeup, lifestyle choices, and environmental exposures? You know, a Danish identical twin study found that genetics was accounted for about 25% of the variation in longevity in twins, where environmental factors like diet, like exercise, like stress, etc., accounted for about 50%. So how can we influence, how can we maximize those 50%? Epigenetics is one of the hottest issues in science today that tries to figure out exactly this. What makes our genes turn on or off, and how can we control it? The Blue Zones organization is just one of numerous organizations that try to find the secret of longevity. It mapped 5 places in the world where lifespan is significantly longer than average and tried to connect the dots between them. Stress-free lifestyle was a major issue that kept popping out. Biological researchers found that, in general, slow organisms tend to live longer than fast-acting ones. Bunnies versus tortoises, there isn't even a competition. And even when exploring interspecies, did you know that a worker ant has a life expectancy of about 1.5 years, while a queen ant, who has a DNA repairment mechanism, can live up to 30 years? I know, life isn't fair. So my grandmother's instincts were right then. According to these researchers, we somehow need to figure out how to lower our worker ant motivation, whether it's biologically imprinted in us or socially embedded in us in order to live longer. But can we fight what we think is our identity? Like many other millions in the world, I was really looking forward to see Simone Biles last week. Our perception of her as an unbeatable machine was built for years of competition after competition, hundreds and thousands of articles and TV items and interviews about this diligent young woman who practically dedicated her whole life to be excellent, nothing less. And then, at the very climax of her professional life, she said she needed to stop before she could go on being the best. She didn't feel the best. Now, before you say anything, I didn't ask Biles to quit a week before my TED presentation, but I believe that what she did represents the middle ground. We are not bunnies, nor tortoises. We are humans, and as such, we can make decisions like Biles did. It's awesome to do awesome stuff, but it is also okay to be tired and to rest. Now, I am no Simone Biles, but I've been cheered for years for being a worker ant, and now after you met my family and we're so close and intimate, I can admit to you, I am tired. So, IMPI is not just an ideal, it's an idealization. That's why it makes great magazine covers. But as a society, and as individuals in a society, we must not let IMPI take over the need to stop every once in a while. It doesn't make us weak. It's what makes us human. Thank you.